I will burn this place down with you in it. Have you ever heard words that should terrify you, but all you can think about is the last time someone made that same threat? 5 years ago, Serafina heard those exact words. Right before the explosion that killed her parents. Right before a stranger with a scar over his eye saved her life. Right before she lost everything and everyone. Now, those words are back. And so is he. Night in the immigrant district. A cramped bookstore called Pages and Pathways, wedged between a laundromat and a shuttered deli. Inside, under flickering fluorescent lights, Serafina is on her knees. 25 years old, dark skin gleaming with sweat. Second-year college student working night shifts to survive. Mr. Chen has her by the hair. His hand raised to strike. "You think you can steal from me?" His voice drips with cruelty. "You think you're special?" Serafina doesn't flinch. She learned long ago that fear is a luxury she can't afford. But her fingers instinctively touch the silver bracelet on her wrist, thin, worn smooth from 5 years of constant touch. Faith and duty. The words engraved there are the only promise anyone ever kept. "I gave you everything from the register," she says quietly. Mr. Chen laughs. Everything is never enough. His two associates step closer. Tattoos crawl up their necks. One cracks his knuckles. The other pulls a knife. The door swings open. Not gently. Not with permission. With the force of someone who doesn't need to ask. The man who enters is tall, 6 feet. Broad shoulders filling the doorway. Black tailored coat that moves like water. Hair parted precisely 3/7. A scar cuts down his left eye. Behind his right ear, just visible when he turns, a black crow tattoo spreads its wings. Hyun Woo, 30 years old. Korean-American, president of Black Crow Private Military Company. He came here for business. Triad's money laundering operation runs through 3 bookstores in this district. His informant ended up hospitalized last week. 3 broken ribs and a warning carved into his arm. Black Crow doesn't forgive that kind of disrespect. But when Hyun Woo's eyes sweep the room, assessing exits and threat levels, they land on Serafina, on her wrist. The silver bracelet catches the dying light. Everything stops. The word hangs in the air, burn, and something fractures in Hyun Woo's mind. Behind him, an old bookshelf suddenly collapses. Books cascade to the floor with a crash that sounds like concrete crumbling. The overhead light fixture shatters. Glass rains down. The sound, the word, the glint of silver. 3 elements collide. His vision splits. A girl's voice, young, desperate, drowning in smoke, cuts through present reality. "Hyun Woo, save me." Images flash across his consciousness. Flames climbing walls. His hand fastening a silver bracelet around a dark-skinned wrist. His voice, steady despite the chaos. "Focus on my voice, as long as you can hear me." Brown eyes. Terrified. Trusting. Hyun Woo grits his teeth. His hand flies to his temple. The PTSD episodes are supposed to be controlled. Medication. Breathing exercises. But this is different. This isn't just memory. This is recognition. "Who the hell are you?" Mr. Chen demands. Hyun Woo doesn't answer. He's staring at Serafina, and she's staring back. Her eyes widen. "Your eye?" "That scar." Mr. Chen's associates move toward Hyun Woo. The memory shatters. Hyun Woo's expression goes cold, predatory. "Bad timing," he says softly. The first associate lunges, knife flashing in the fluorescent light. A wild slash aimed at center mass, the kind of attack that works on civilians who freeze in fear. Hyun Woo isn't a civilian. He moves with the kind of efficiency that comes from 10,000 hours of practice, muscle memory refined in combat zones from Iraq to Afghanistan, to places that don't officially exist on any map. His hand shoots out, catches the attacker's wrist mid-thrust. Not a block, a redirect. He uses the man's own momentum against him, twists the wrist past its natural range of motion. Bone grinds against bone with an audible pop. The knife clatters to the floor before the man's brain even registers pain. Then it hits. He screams. Hyun-woo delivers a palm strike to the solar plexus. Not full force. He doesn't want to stop a heart tonight. Just enough to empty the lungs. The attacker crumples like a puppet with cut strings, gasping, unable to draw breath. The second man doesn't hesitate. He swings wild, untrained but committed. A haymaker aimed at Hyun-woo's head. Hyun-woo ducks under. His hand shoots out, grabs the falling bookshelf, the one that collapsed moments ago, and uses it as a shield. The attacker's fist connects with wood instead of flesh. The impact reverberates through the store. Books scatter like startled birds. The man stumbles, off balance. Hyun-woo drops the shelf, drives his elbow into exposed ribs. Once, twice. Precise strikes to intercostal muscles. Not enough to break ribs, just enough to make breathing agony for the next 3 days. The man drops. The first attacker, the one with the broken wrist, pulls a gun with his left hand. A compact 9mm. Probably illegal. Definitely not properly maintained based on the way his hand shakes. Mistake. Hyun-woo sweeps low. A leg kick that targets the inside of the knee. The joint isn't designed to bend that way. The man's leg buckles. As he falls, Hyun-woo catches his arm, redirects the gun skyward, delivers a precise strike to the nerve cluster at his shoulder, the brachial plexus, the kind of hit that sends electricity down the entire arm. The gun drops. 40 seconds. That's how long it takes for 2 armed men to become unconscious bodies on a bookstore floor. The chaos. Fallen shelves, scattered books, broken glass, the smell of dust and old paper mixing with fresh blood and fear. It all mirrors something deeper in Hyun-woo's fractured memory. The shopping center, the fire, the explosion that took 43 lives and erased 4 months from his mind. His chest tightens. His breathing quickens. The room tilts like the floor is no longer solid. Not now. Not now. Not. He forces air into his lungs. Counts to 4. Holds. Counts to 4. Exhales. The breathing exercises his therapist taught him. The ones he swore he'd never need in the field. Mr. Chen is backing toward the exit. His expensive shoes crunch on broken glass. His bravado has evaporated like morning fog. Wait, I didn't know. I wouldn't have. Hyun-woo crosses the distance in 3 strides. His hand shoots out, grabs Mr. Chen by the collar, slams him against the wall hard enough to rattle the books on nearby shelves. Black Crow. His voice is soft, deadly quiet, the kind of voice that makes smart men tell the truth. You know that name? Mr. Chen's face drains of color. Yes, I know. Then you know what happens to people who touch my network. Hyun-woo leans closer. Close enough that Mr. Chen can see the scar tissue around his eye. Close enough to smell fear sweat mixing with expensive cologne. You put my informant in the hospital. 3 broken ribs, punctured lung. He's 19 years old. Scholarship student. You carved a warning into his arm. That wasn't me, that was... You ordered it. That makes you responsible. Hyun-woo's grip tightens. The fabric of the expensive suit bunches in his fist. You run your operation in immigrant communities because you think no one cares. You threaten students because you think they're powerless. Please, Black Crow, spare her life. I'll leave. I'll disappear. I'll give you everything. No. You'll surrender. You'll give testimony. You'll provide every name, every location, every connection you have to Triad. Hyun-woo pulls him forward, then slams him back. Mr. Chen's head bounces off the wall. And if you ever touch her again, he pauses, lets the silence stretch. Triad won't just lose this bookstore. I will personally reduce your entire organization to ashes. Every safe house, every front business, every account, every ally. I will burn it all down and scatter the remains so thoroughly that historians will debate whether you ever existed. The word echoes. Ashes, burn, fire, Mr. Chen slides to the floor when Hyun-woo releases him, gasping, trembling. My people will contact you in the morning. You'll be in protective custody until trial. If you run, I'll find you. If you retaliate, your family suffers the consequences. If you warn anyone... Hyun-woo crouches down, looks him in the eye. I become creative. And you don't want that. I won't. I swear. I swear on my ancestors. Mr. Chen and his associates stumble out into the night. The bell above the door chimes mockingly, a cheerful sound in the aftermath of violence. Silence falls over the bookstore. Just the buzz of fluorescent lights, the settling of disturbed books. Hyun-woo's ragged breathing. He stands in the wreckage. His hands shake. A fine tremor he can't control. The adrenaline is wearing off. The reality is setting in. Behind him, Serafina slowly rises to her feet. She moves carefully, like she's afraid sudden movement might shatter this moment, might reveal it as a dream she'll wake from screaming. You, her voice barely whispers. You're... He turns. Their eyes meet, and the world fractures again. What happens when the past you buried collides with the person you've been searching for? If this story is pulling at something inside you, hit subscribe. Because what happens next will break your heart. Then heal it. The overhead light flickers. On, off, on. Each flicker feels like a heartbeat. Serafina takes a step forward. Her legs are unsteady. She's been kneeling for 20 minutes. Her knees ache, but none of that matters. She takes another step. Her hand rises, trembling, toward his face. Your scar. The words come out broken, disbelieving. I know that scar. Hyun-woo can't move, can't speak, can't do anything but stare. She's close now. Close enough that he can see the individual tears caught in her eyelashes. Close enough to see the faint scar on her jawline, probably from the same explosion. Close enough to smell coconut oil in her hair and the cheap soap from the laundromat next door. Her eyes are brown, deep, painfully familiar in a way that makes his chest ache with loss he didn't know he was carrying. 5 years ago, her voice cracks, breaks. The mall, the big shopping center downtown. The explosion. Tears spill down her cheeks. There was a soldier. Special forces. He came back into the fire when everyone else was running out. He saved me. She stops. Swallows hard. He gave me this. She lifts her wrist. The bracelet gleams under the dying fluorescent light. He told me as long as I could hear his voice. The light shines directly on the engraving. Faith and duty. Something inside Hyun-woo shatters. Not breaks, not cracks. Shatters. Like glass under too much pressure. Like a dam holding back an ocean. Like a mind that's been locked away to survive trauma finally being allowed to remember. A wave of dizziness slams into him. The world tilts. His knees buckle. Wait. He hits the floor. Not gracefully, not like the controlled falls from combat training, just a man whose body has given up trying to hold the weight of 5 years of forgotten memories. Serafina drops beside him. Hey, stay with me. Look at me. But he's not here anymore. He's somewhere else. Somewhere 5 years ago. Somewhere that smells like smoke and death and burning plastic. Flashback, November 2000, shopping center. The Grand Plaza shopping center is 15 stories of glass and steel, a monument to American capitalism. 500 stores, 15 restaurants, 3 anchor department stores, a movie theater with 14 screens, an aquarium on the top floor. November 2000. It's been exactly 1 month since a naval vessel was bombed overseas. The news is still full of speculation about terrorism, about sleeper cells, about the world changing in ways nobody quite understands yet. Security is heightened. Bag checks at entrances, uniformed guards at every floor. Everyone's on edge. But life goes on. People still shop, still eat, still pretend the world is safe. Hyun Woo is on the 3rd floor, 25 years old, Korean American, Joint Special Forces, one of the elite units that operates between military branches. He's been back stateside for 3 weeks after a deployment he can't talk about in a country he can't name. Off duty today. Civilian clothes. Just trying to feel normal. He's browsing a bookstore. Large paperbacks. Something mindless to fill the empty hours. He picks up The Art of War. Flips through pages he's read a dozen times. Ironic, he'll think later. If there's a later. The bookstore is moderately busy. Muzak plays over speakers. The smell of coffee from the shop next door mingles with paper and ink. That's when he sees her. Serafina, 20 years old. Dark skin glowing under the store's bright lights. Natural hair in braids tied with colorful beads. She wears a green apron with a name tag, Sarah, happy to help. She's restocking shelves, moving with efficient grace, humming something under her breath. She catches him watching, smiles. Can I help you find something? Her voice is warm, kind, the kind of voice that makes you want to tell the truth. He shakes his head. Just browsing. Thank you. Let me know if you need anything. She turns back to her work. He watches her for another moment. Thinks about asking for a recommendation. Thinks about making conversation. Decides against it. He's learned not to form connections. Not to let people in. It's easier that way when you deploy every 6 months to places where people die. He puts the book back. Starts toward the exit. That's when the first explosion hits. It's not loud. That's what he'll remember later. In the movies, explosions are deafening, dramatic. But real explosions are almost quiet. A deep thump that you feel in your chest before you hear it. The ground shakes. The lights flicker. Somewhere far below, maybe the parking garage, something has detonated. For 3 seconds, nobody moves. Then someone screams. Then everyone screams. The stampede begins. 300 people trying to reach the stairwells at once. Panic is a living thing. It consumes rational thought, turns humans into animals. Hyun Woo's training kicks in. He doesn't run. He assesses structural damage. Unknown, but the building is still standing. Secondary blast, probable based on the delay. Best exit, emergency stairwell to the right, less crowded than the escalators. He moves against the crowd, toward the stairwell, already cataloging who needs help. Elderly woman, 2 kids separated from parents, man in wheelchair. That's when the second explosion hits. This one is louder, closer, angrier. The bookstore's back wall explodes outward. Not a bomb, a gas line rupture from the first blast. Fire erupts like a living creature. Hungry, indiscriminate. Smoke billows thick and black and poisonous. The sprinkler system activates. Water rains down. But it's not enough. Not nearly enough. People are trapped. Hyun Woo sees civilians stumbling through smoke. He grabs them, points them toward exits, rips his shirt to cover faces, moves with purpose through chaos. That's when he hears it. Help. Someone, please. I can't. A girl's voice, coming from inside the bookstore, from inside the fire. Every instinct screams at him to leave, to get out, to survive. He runs into the fire instead. The heat is unbearable. It feels like his skin is cooking. The smoke claws at his lungs. Each breath is agony. He can barely see 2 feet ahead. Where are you? Here. I'm here. Please. He follows her voice, uses his hands to feel through the smoke. Books scatter under his feet. Shelves groan under heat stress. There. He finds her, pinned under a fallen bookshelf. The heavy kind, solid wood, 6 feet tall, loaded with hardcovers. Her leg is trapped. Blood soaks through her jeans where the wood has crushed flesh. Serafina, the girl who smiled at him 2 minutes ago. The girl who was just doing her job. Her face is streaked with tears and soot. Her eyes are wide with terror. She's coughing so hard her whole body shakes. I've got you. He crouches beside the shelf, gets his hands under it. On 3. 1, 2, 3. He lifts. His muscles scream. The shelf weighs easily 200 pounds, but adrenaline is a hell of a drug. He gets it off her. She gasps, sobs, tries to stand, collapses. I can't breathe. Listen to me. He crouches in front of her, grabs her face with both hands, forces her to look at him. Focus on my voice, only my voice. As long as you can hear my voice, you're alive. You understand? She nods. Can't speak. We're getting out of here, but you have to trust me. Can you do that? Another nod. He lifts her. She's light. Adrenaline makes her lighter. Or maybe he's just that motivated. The fire is spreading. The ceiling groans. Somewhere above them, something massive gives way with a crack like thunder. He carries her toward the emergency exit. The smoke is so thick he's navigating by memory now. By instinct. 20 feet to the door. 15. 10. His lungs are burning. His eyes stream tears. But he doesn't stop. 5 feet. He kicks the door open. Fresh air rushes in. She gasps, coughs, sucks in breath like she's drowning and just broke the surface. He sets her down just outside the exit, on concrete, away from the immediate danger. She's alive. She's breathing. She's safe. He crouches beside her. His hands shake as he reaches into his pocket. The silver bracelet. It was issued to his unit 6 months ago. Custom made. Engraved with their motto, faith and duty. A reminder of why they do what they do. He clasps it around her wrist. His fingers are clumsy. The smoke inhalation is affecting his coordination, but he gets it fastened. As long as you hear my voice, you will live. He looks into her eyes, makes sure she understands. No matter what happens next, no matter how bad it gets, I will find you. Do you understand? Her fingers close around his. Don't leave me. Please don't. I have to go back. There are others. No, you'll die. That's not your choice to make. He squeezes her hand. I will find you. I promise. The third explosion detonates. Somewhere above them, maybe the 4th floor, maybe the 5th. Something massive gives way. The floor collapses. Debris rains down. Concrete, steel, glass. The building is coming apart. Hyun-woo shoves her away from the door. Back. Further. Out of the immediate debris field. Something heavy strikes his head. The world goes white. Then red. Then black. He feels himself falling. Feels impact. Feels pain like lightning through his skull. The last thing he hears, somewhere far away, like a voice underwater, is her screaming his name. Then, nothing. Present Hyun-woo gasps. His eyes fly open. He's back in the bookstore. Pages and pathways. 5 years later. The memory releasing him like a fist unclenching. Serafina is leaning over him. Tears stream down her face. Her hands are on his shoulders. She's saying something. His name, maybe. He can't quite hear over the ringing in his ears. Serafina. His voice breaks. cracks like old glass. It's you. She nods. Can't speak. Just nods and cries and holds him like he might disappear. I forgot. The words taste like ash and grief. I forgot everything. The mall. The fire. You saved me. Her voice is wrecked. Destroyed. You gave me this bracelet, you told me you'd find me. And then they told me everyone else in that section died. They said there were no survivors besides the people who got out before. I woke up in a military hospital 3 months later. His hands are shaking. Baghdad. They'd evacuated me. Critical care. I didn't know my name for 3 days. Didn't know where I was. What year it was. Why didn't you? Dissociative amnesia. PTSD. Traumatic brain injury. He reaches up with trembling fingers, touches her face like he's afraid she's a hallucination. The doctor said I lost about 4 months. Everything from 2 weeks before the explosion to 2 weeks after I woke up. Just gone. But you're here. She presses his hand to her cheek. You're real. You're here. I didn't remember them all. Didn't remember saving you, but His voice cracks. I had these nightmares. Every night. A girl calling my name, begging me to help. I could never see her face. Never knew who she was. My therapist said it was just trauma, just my mind processing fear. It was me. Tears drip onto his hand. You were remembering me. I was remembering you. They sit in the wreckage of the bookstore for a long time. Neither of them moves. Neither wants to break this moment. This impossible, miraculous, painful reunion. Hyun-woo leans against the counter, his breathing slowly steadying. The PTSD symptoms receding like a tide. Serafina sits close. Their shoulders touch. The contact feels like prayer. Outside, the city continues. Cars pass. Someone laughs. Life goes on, indifferent to miracles. After the hospital, Serafina finally says, I looked for you. Her voice is quiet, careful. I stayed in the hospital for 3 weeks. My leg. She touches her thigh absently. Crushed. They thought I might lose it. But the surgeons were good. Physical therapy was hell. But I kept this. She lifts her wrist. The bracelet catches light. And I told myself if you survived, you'd come back. If you remembered, you'd find me. What did they tell you? That everyone in that section of the bookstore died. 43 people total in the explosion. They showed me pictures of the structural damage. It was impossible anyone could have survived in there after the 3rd blast. But you didn't believe them. I wanted to believe you made it out. I asked about you. Described you. The uniform. The scar. Everything I could remember. She wipes her eyes. But everything was classified. Military operations. National security. They wouldn't tell me anything. Not your name. Not your unit. Nothing. I wouldn't have been in any records. Hyun-woo's voice is hollow. I was there off duty. Civilian clothes. No ID on me because I was shopping. When they pulled me out, unconscious, barely alive, they couldn't identify me for 3 days. How did they find you? My unit reported me missing. Matched my fingerprints eventually. By then I was already in Baghdad. They'd evacuated critical patients when local hospitals got overwhelmed. Serafina is quiet for a long moment. My parents were in the food court, level B2. First explosion hit the parking garage right below it. Hyun-woo closes his eyes. Sarah, they died instantly. That's what the investigators told me. They wouldn't have felt anything. Her voice is eerily calm, the kind of calm that comes from telling this story too many times. I had no one after that. No siblings, no grandparents. My mom's family was back in Georgia, but we weren't close. They didn't want me. What happened to you? Foster care, I was 20 but still in school, still dependent. The state placed me with a family. They were fine. Not cruel, just indifferent. She traces the bracelet with her finger. I dropped out of college. Couldn't afford it. Couldn't focus. Started working. 3 jobs. Diner, bookstore, hospital night shift. For 5 years? For 5 years. She looks at him. I kept this bracelet, wore it every day, traced these words when things got bad, told myself someone out there had faith, had duty. That promises meant something. Hyunwoo's jaw clenches. I should have remembered sooner. You had brain trauma. That's not an excuse. It's the only excuse that matters. She shifts to face him fully. You saved my life twice now, once in the fire, once tonight. I don't get to be angry that you forgot me when you literally had your memory stolen. But 5 years? 5 years where we both survived, where we both became stronger, where we both kept going even when everything said we should give up. She takes his hand. Maybe we needed those 5 years to become people who could handle this. Hyunwoo looks down at their joined hands, her dark skin against his lighter tone, the bracelet between them. I did 2 more tours after I recovered. Iraq, Afghanistan. The PTSD got worse. Nightmares every night. I'd wake up screaming, wake up throwing punches. My roommate requested a transfer because I was too dangerous to sleep near. What did you dream about? Fire, smoke, someone calling my name. I could never see who. He swallows hard. My therapist said it was just my mind processing trauma, that the person didn't matter. It was symbolic. But it wasn't. No. It was you. Every night. For 5 years. It was always you. Serafina's breath catches. I left the military 4 years ago. Medical discharge. They said I was too unstable for active duty. Too much of a liability. He almost laughs. They weren't wrong. So you started Black Crow. Me and Jin and 3 other guys from my unit. All of us damaged. All of us looking for purpose. He looks around the bookstore. We do what governments can't. Extract hostages. Protect journalists. Sometimes we make bad people disappear. That should scare me. It should. It doesn't. She squeezes his hand. You know why? Why? Because I know who you are. You're the man who ran into a fire when everyone else ran out. You're the man who gave me his bracelet. Something that obviously meant something to him. Just to give me hope. You're the man whose heart remembered me even when his mind couldn't. Hyunwoo pulls her to her feet suddenly. She stumbles. He catches her. I'm here now, he says fiercely. I'm remembering everything, every detail, every moment, and I'm not leaving. Are you sure? Or will you go back to your company and decide this was a mistake? Look at me. He cups her face, forces her to meet his eyes. Feel this. He takes her hand, presses it to his chest, over his heart. That's real. I'm real. And I'm not going anywhere. Not this time. She breaks. 5 years of holding it together. 5 years of being strong because she had no choice. 5 years of grief and loneliness and hope she was too terrified to acknowledge. It pours out of her. Hyunwoo pulls her close, wraps his arms around her, lets her sob into his chest while he holds her like she's the most precious thing in the world. Because she is. Outside, a black vehicle pulls up. Tinted windows. No plates visible from this angle. Jin gets out. He's 32. Korean. Former Special Forces. Hyunwoo's second in command for the past 8 years. He starts toward the bookstore, sees the scene through the window. His boss, the man who never touches anyone, who maintains perfect emotional control at all times, who treats human connection like a tactical liability, is holding a woman like she's oxygen and he's drowning. Jin stops, processes, makes a decision. He gets back in the vehicle. Sends a text. Everything under control? The response comes immediately. Yes. I'll handle cleanup. Go home. Jin stares at his phone. In 8 years, Hyun-woo has never deviated from protocol, has never put personal matters above operational security, has never, ever told Jin to stand down. Jin starts the engine. About damn time, he thinks. 20 minutes later, Serafina pulls back. Her face is wet. Her eyes are red. But something in her expression has shifted. The weight she's been carrying alone for 5 years feels lighter. I need to close up, she says quietly. If Mr. Chen comes back, he won't. Hyun-woo's voice carries absolute certainty. Jin has him. By now, he's in a Black Crow safe house awaiting federal transport in the morning. You can do that? We have contracts with 3 government agencies. Sometimes we hold assets until official custody can be arranged. She looks around at the chaos. Fallen shelves, scattered books, broken glass. I need to clean this up. No. You need to let me take you somewhere safe. This is my responsibility. Sarah. He catches her hand. You almost died tonight. You were assaulted. You're in shock even if you don't feel it yet. Let me help you. Why? The word comes out sharper than she intended. Why do you even care? You didn't remember me until an hour ago. It's not fair. She knows it's not fair. But 5 years of pain is looking for somewhere to land. Hyun-woo doesn't flinch. You want the honest answer? Yes. I came here tonight planning to observe, to build a case, to burn Triad's operation to the ground systematically. He steps closer. But the moment I saw you, before I even remembered, something in me shifted. I saw you on your knees, and every instinct I have screamed at me to protect you. Not because of the past, but because some part of me recognized you even when my conscious mind couldn't. Serafina's breath catches. Now I remember everything. And I can't. His voice cracks. I can't walk away. I won't survive it. You barely know me. I know you survived when you shouldn't have. I know you kept working 3 jobs instead of giving up. I know you wore my bracelet for 5 years like a promise. I know Mr. Chen had you by the hair and you didn't beg, didn't cry. Just looked him in the eye and took it because you've learned that's how you survive. Tears slip down her cheeks again. I know you're the strongest person I've ever met, and I know, he swallows hard. I know that my mind forgot you, but my heart didn't. My heart has been looking for you for 5 years, in every nightmare, every dream. Every time I helped someone and felt like I was trying to make up for something I couldn't remember. Hyun-woo. So yes, I care. Even if it doesn't make sense. Even if we're basically strangers, I care because some part of me never stopped caring. Serafina closes the distance between them. Stands close enough that she has to tilt her head back to look at him. My turn to be honest, she says quietly. Okay. I've spent 5 years wondering if I imagined how kind you were. If trauma made me romanticize a 30-second interaction. If the bracelet was just you being decent, and I built it into something it wasn't. She touches his face, traces the scar over his eye. But you're here. You're real. And you're exactly who I thought you were. I'm not a good man, Sarah. Black Crow does things. I don't care. Her voice is fierce. I don't care if you're perfect. I care that you're here, that you came back, that you're still trying to protect me even after everything. I will always try to protect you. Even if I don't need protection, especially then. She almost smiles. That's not how equality works. Then teach me. The words hang between them, an offering, a promise. She kisses him, not tentatively, not carefully. With 5 years of hope and fear and love, she didn't know she was allowed to feel. He kisses her back, his hands gentle on her face despite all the violence those hands have done. When they pull apart, they're both shaking. Come with me, he says. Let me take you somewhere safe. Just for tonight. Tomorrow we figure everything out. But tonight, let me take care of you. Serafina looks around the bookstore, at the chaos, at the life she's been living. Then she looks at him. Okay. Outside, Jin is still sitting in the vehicle when they emerge. Hyun Woo opens the back door for Serafina. She slides in. He follows. Jin catches his eye in the rearview mirror. Raises an eyebrow. This is Serafina, Hyun Woo says. She's under Black Crow protection as of now. Anyone who touches her answers to me personally. Jin's expression doesn't change. But something flickers in his eyes. Understanding, maybe. Yes, sir. Where to? The penthouse. Jin's eyebrows rise infinitesimally. The penthouse is Hyun Woo's personal space. He's never brought anyone there. Not clients, not assets, not even Jin. The penthouse, Jin repeats. Understood? He pulls away from the curb. Serafina looks out the window, watching the immigrant district slide past, the laundromat, the shuttered deli. The life she's known for 5 years. Hyun Woo takes her hand. She squeezes back. Neither speaks. Some moments don't need words. Black Crow headquarters occupies the 40th floor of a glass tower overlooking the harbor. The elevator ride is silent, smooth. When the doors open, Serafina steps into another world. Floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture. Everything in shades of black and gray and white. The city spreads below like a carpet of lights. This is your office? She asks quietly. This is home? Hyun Woo steps out behind her. The office is 2 floors down. She walks to the window, looks out at the city. From up here, everything looks small, manageable, safe. You've built something remarkable. So have you. She turns. I work in a bookstore that launders money for organized crime. You survived when the world tried to destroy you. You kept going when you had every reason to stop. That's not nothing, Sarah. She wraps her arms around herself. The penthouse is temperature controlled, but she suddenly feels cold. Tell me everything, she says. Iraq, the amnesia, all of it. I need to know. So he does. He tells her about waking up in Baghdad with no memory of the previous 4 months. About the doctors who ran every test imaginable and found nothing physically wrong, just a mind that had locked itself away to survive trauma. He tells her about the gaps, knowing his name but not remembering his childhood, knowing his unit but not remembering the missions, knowing he should care about something but not knowing what. He tells her about forcing himself to finish his deployment, about thinking if he just pushed through, the memories would return. The person he used to be would come back. He tells her about the nightmares that got worse instead of better, about waking up screaming, about the night he punched through a wall in his sleep and woke up with bloody knuckles and no memory of how it happened. He tells her about the voice he couldn't place, the girl calling his name, how his therapist said it was symbolic, his mind's way of processing survivor's guilt. He tells her about leaving the military, about the discharge papers that said medical, psychological, about feeling like a failure, like he'd let everyone down. He tells her about Jin finding him drunk in a bar 2 years later, about Jin saying, "You want to keep helping people? I've got an idea." He tells her about starting Black Crow, about the first mission, extracting an aid worker from a warlord's compound, about how it felt to have purpose again. He tells her about building the company, about the moral gray zones they operate in, about the people they've saved and the people they've made disappear. I'm not a good man, he finishes quietly. Black Crow has done things that keep me up at night. I've killed people, not in combat, not in self-defense. I've killed people because they were threats that needed to be neutralized. Serafina is quiet for a long time. Then she walks to him. My turn. She tells him about losing her parents, about the food court collapsing, About being told they died instantly. A mercy, the counselor said, as if instant death made grief easier. She tells him about foster care, about the family that took her in because it came with a stipend, about sleeping in a room with two other girls who resented her for taking up space. She tells him about dropping out of college, about the scholarship money that disappeared when she couldn't maintain full-time status, about professors who said she had potential but never followed up when she stopped showing up to class. She tells him about the jobs, about the diner where the cook would grab her wrist too hard, about the hospital where patients would call her slurs and she had to smile and keep working, about the bookstore where she knew something was wrong but needed the money too badly to ask questions. She tells him about Triad, about Mr. Chen approaching her 2 years ago, about the offer of protection, higher pay, better hours. Just look the other way. She tells him about realizing too late that protection meant ownership, that the extra cash came with strings, that asking questions got other employees fired. She tells him about the bracelet, about tracing the words every night, about telling herself if she kept faith, if she did her duty, someone would come. I'm not proud of it, she says quietly. I helped them. Maybe I didn't know the details of money laundering. Maybe I didn't ask about the cash that came through in bags. But I knew. Some part of me knew, and I stayed anyway, because I was afraid. Fear isn't weakness. I was weak. I let them control me for 2 years. You survived. That takes more strength than most people have. She looks up at him. We're both broken, aren't we? Maybe. But maybe broken people fit together better than whole ones. That's the most romance thing I've ever heard. He almost smiles. What? Nothing. Just... She laughs softly. The first real laugh since he walked into the bookstore. We sound like a story someone would tell. The mafia boss and the girl he saved. Very dramatic. I run a private military company, not the mafia. Potato, potato. Now he does smile. Small, but real. I've been told there are similarities. She takes his hand. Then let's make sure this story ends well. I don't do happy endings, Sarah. My life doesn't work that way. Then maybe it's time it did. The rest of the evening passes in quiet conversation. He makes tea. She's surprised he knows how. He explains that his grandmother insisted he learn, a Korean tradition he's kept even when everything else fell away. They sit on the couch, looking out at the city. She asks about Black Crow. He tells her about missions, edited versions, leaving out the worst parts. He asks about her education. She tells him about her dream, social work, helping kids in foster care, being the person she wished she'd had. I applied to graduate programs, she says quietly, for the last 3 years. Every year I get rejected. Not enough volunteer experience, not enough references, not enough, not enough, not enough. Apply again. What's the point? The point is, you don't give up. Ever. He looks at her. You survived an explosion. You survived foster care. You survived Triad. You don't get to give up on your dreams now. Tears prick her eyes. It's not that simple. It is exactly that simple. Says the man who runs a company. Says the man who was discharged from the military as unstable and built something anyway. His voice is fierce. You're the strongest person I know, Sarah. Don't let the world tell you otherwise. She wipes her eyes. You don't even really know me. I know enough, and I want to know more. Every day, for as long as you'll let me. The words hang between them. A promise, an invitation, a future neither of them expected to have. Serafina leans against him. He wraps his arm around her shoulders. They watch the city lights fade as dawn approaches. Neither sleeps. Both afraid this is a dream they'll wake from. But dawn comes anyway. And they're still there. 6 months pass. Black Crow dismantles Triad's operations systematically, Mr. Chen testifies. 27 arrests across 3 states. The federal prosecutor calls it the most significant organized crime takedown in a decade. The bookstores are seized, restructured, turned into something that actually helps the community instead of exploiting it. Serafina becomes director of Pathways Forward, a nonprofit bookstore collective supporting immigrant students and low-income families. 5 locations, 47 employees, a partnership with the city library system and 3 local universities. She's brilliant at it. Organizing, fundraising, community outreach. She speaks at city council meetings with a confidence that makes Hyunwoo's chest ache with pride. Today she's at the flagship store, the original Pages and Pathways. Renovated, thriving. The space looks different now. Fresh paint, new shelves, comfortable seating areas where students can study without buying anything. A coffee bar that employs other survivors of Triad's operation. Serafina stands behind the counter, helping a customer, smiling, alive. Across the street, Hyunwoo watches. He's been here for 20 minutes, just watching, making sure she's safe. Jin stands beside him, arms crossed, expression carefully neutral. "You're doing it again," Jin says. "Doing what?" Watching her like some kind of guardian angel, very intense, slightly creepy. "I'm making sure she's safe." She's surrounded by customers and employees. She's fine. Triad still has connections. Someone could... Boss? Jin turns to face him. "She's not going to disappear if you stop watching her for 5 minutes. You don't know that. I do know that you're going to make yourself paranoid. You haven't slept more than 4 hours a night since you brought her home. You check her location every hour. You've reassigned 3 teams to rotating surveillance of this block. Standard protection protocol. For heads of state, not for your girlfriend." Hyunwoo's jaw tightens. We're not... Right. You're not together. You just brought her to your personal penthouse. Let her stay there for 6 months. Funded her nonprofit. And look at her like she hung the moon. Jin's voice is dry. Totally platonic. It's complicated. It's not complicated. You love her. She loves you. The only complication is you're too scared to admit it. I'm not scared. You ran into a building that was actively exploding. You've been shot 3 times. You negotiated with a warlord who was holding a knife to your throat. But you're terrified of telling one woman how you feel. Hyunwoo doesn't respond. Inside the store, Serafina is helping a young girl find a book. Maybe 8 years old. Dark skin. Braids tied with colorful beads. She reminds Hyunwoo of someone. Of Serafina 5 years ago. "Do you have books about scientists?" the girl asks shyly. "We have so many." Serafina leads her to a section. "Are you interested in science?" The girl nods. "I want to be a doctor. But my teacher says I should be realistic." Serafina crouches down, eye level. "Your teacher is wrong. You can be anything you want. You just have to want it bad enough." "Really? Really? You know what I do?" "You run this bookstore." "I do. But I'm also a graduate student. I'm getting my master's degree in social work. I want to help kids like you. Kids who are told to be realistic when they should be told to dream big." The girl's eyes go wide. "You're in college?" "I am. And you know what else? I didn't start until this year. I waited a long time. But I didn't give up. And neither should you." The girl beams. "Can you help me find books about doctors?" "I would love to." Hyunwoo watches this exchange through the window. Something in his chest cracks open. Not breaks. Opens. She's not just surviving anymore. She's thriving. Building. Becoming exactly who she was always meant to be. "She's incredible," Jin says softly. "I know. You love her." It's not a question this time. Hyunwoo doesn't answer. But his silence is answer enough. Jin claps him on the shoulder. Then tell her, before you lose the chance. He walks away, leaves Hyun-woo standing there, watching the woman he can't stop thinking about. The woman who survived fire and trauma and became someone who helps little girls dream. The woman who saved him by letting him save her. That evening, Hyun-woo picks Serafina up from the bookstore. He's nervous. Hyun-woo, who has led hostage rescues, negotiated with warlords, stared down men with guns, is nervous about dinner with one woman. If Jin knew, he'd never let him hear the end of it. I made reservations, Hyun-woo says as she gets in the car. Korean barbecue. There's a place downtown with private rooms. I thought, I'd love to. Serafina sets her bag down, turns to him. But first, I need to tell you something. His stomach tightens. Okay, I got accepted. Accepted? Graduate school, full scholarship, social work program. I start in the fall. Joy floods through him, pure, uncomplicated. Sarah, that's incredible. I know, and She takes a breath. I wanted to make sure you understood. I'm not staying because I need you to take care of me. I'm not staying because I'm grateful. I'm staying because I want to. Because I choose you. The words hit him like a physical force. I never thought. Didn't you? Even a little? Worry that I was just some charity case? Some broken girl you felt obligated to help? No, I know who you are, the strongest person I've ever met. You survived hell and built heaven from the ashes. He cups her face. I'm proud of you. Every single day. Her eyes shine. Say that again. I'm proud of you. One more time. He smiles. Actually smiles. The expression feels foreign, unfamiliar. I'm so damn proud of you, Serafina. You're extraordinary. You're inspirational. You're everything I didn't know I needed. She kisses him. Soft at first, then deeper. 5 months of living together, of careful boundaries, of unspoken feelings. It all pours out. When they pull apart, they're both breathing hard. Now let's go get that Korean barbecue, she says. I'm starving. He laughs. Actually laughs. Jin was right. He loves her. And maybe, it's time to tell her. 1 year later, a beach house, small, tucked away from the city, white walls and large windows that frame the ocean like living paintings. Hyun-woo bought it 8 months ago. Didn't tell Serafina until he handed her the keys. What's this? She'd asked. Somewhere safe. Somewhere we can go when the world gets too loud. She'd cried, then kissed him, then cried some more. Now they spend weekends here, away from Black Crow, away from pathways. Just them. Today, the sun is setting. Golden light spills across the porch where they sit. Bare feet on weathered wood. Warm breeze carrying salt and possibility. The ocean stretches endlessly before them. Waves lap at the shore in a rhythm that sounds like breathing. Serafina leans against Hyun-woo's shoulder. Her head fits perfectly in the hollow below his collarbone. Do you still have nightmares? She asks quietly. Sometimes. About the fire? About losing you again? She lifts her head. Looks at him. I'm not going anywhere. I know. Logically, I know. But the fear exists. Fear means you have something worth protecting. He takes her hand, the one with the bracelet. It's worn now, the engraving barely visible, but neither of them would dream of replacing it. That day, he says quietly, you pulled me out of the fire. You pulled me out. No, listen. He turns to face her fully. You pulled me out because you survived. Because you kept my promise even when I couldn't remember making it. Because you became this incredible, brave, motivational person who rebuilds broken things instead of abandoning them. Tears slip down her cheeks. You took the worst thing that ever happened to you and turned it into purpose. You help kids who have nothing. You give them hope. You show them that survival isn't the end. It's the beginning. Hyun-woo. And today, his voice roughens. Today, you pulled me out of the darkness I've been living in for 5 years. You made me remember what it feels like to be human instead of just a weapon. You're not a weapon. I was. Before you. And now? Now I'm just a man who loves you. The words hang in the air. Simple. True. Terrifying. Serafina's breath catches. Say that again. I love you. I've loved you since the moment I put this bracelet on your wrist. I just forgot for a while, but my heart never did. Fresh tears stream down her face. I love you too. I've loved you for 5 years, even when I thought you were dead, even when I told myself to move on. I couldn't, because some part of me knew you were still out there. From now on, and forever. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a small box. We will not walk alone anymore. Serafina's hands fly to her mouth. Inside the box is a ring. Simple. Silver. Engraved with the same words that have defined their story. Faith and duty. You kept your promise, he says. His hands shake slightly. You survived. You found me, even though I was too broken to recognize you at first. You loved me even when I didn't understand why I needed you. Hyun-woo! Now I'm making a new promise. He takes the ring out. I will protect you. I will choose you. I will love you. Every single day. For the rest of my life. Through nightmares and memories. Through good days and bad. Through everything. Yes, she whispers. I haven't asked yet. I don't care. The answer is yes. He almost laughs. Serafina, will you marry me? Yes, yes, yes. 1,000 times, yes. He slides the ring onto her finger. It catches the golden light. Gleams like hope. She launches herself at him. He catches her. They kiss. Deep and sweet and full of everything they survived to get here. When they pull apart, she's laughing through tears. We really are a romance story. The best kind. The motivational kind? The real kind. The kind where broken people find each other and build something beautiful. She rests her forehead against his. I love you. I love you too. Always. Even when I forgot, I loved you. The waves lap at the shore. The sun dips below the horizon. The sky bleeds pink and gold and orange. Behind them, the beach house glows warm in the gathering dusk. Inside, on the mantel, 2 silver bracelets sit side by side in a frame. His and hers. The original and a matching one he commissioned last month. Faith and duty. Promises kept. Lives rebuilt. Love earned. Not despite the trauma. Because of it. Because sometimes the worst thing that ever happens to you puts you exactly where you need to be, with exactly who you need to be with. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that love can survive anything, even fire and forgetting, share it with someone who needs hope tonight. Subscribe for more stories that heal, inspire, and prove that second chances are real. This is the kind of inspirational, motivational journey we all deserve. Stories that remind us why love is always worth fighting for. Thank you for listening. And remember, some promises are written in silver, but the best ones are written in the heart. Until next time, keep believing in love.